Hello everyone, welcome to GW Pro Trading. It's Win Michael here, and I want to wish you guys a very happy new year. And also in the year 2022, we're going to be learning some cool stuff in this channel. All right, so I'm going to have to share with you also my experience and also my ideas using the Elliot wave methodology, and also how you can also improve your Elliot wave trading, all right, based on the experience I've gathered over the years. Okay, so in today's presentation, we're going to be looking at, in this video, market overview for the trading year. Okay, so I'm going to be looking at also mostly, I'm going to be starting from a monthly time frame to share with you market breakdown for this one here, and also I'm showing a little bit of light as to what we do over here at the channel. Okay, so what we do over here at the channel here, GW Pro is a trading community that is out to enrich and also educate traders into becoming more successful and helping them into making the right choices in their trading career. All right, so I created this forum because I have noticed that a lot of traders, whenever I'm walking on the road or heading to a destination, possibly some people could ask me that they want to trade the Elliot wave because they know that it's actually my trading style. But I get a lot of messages that they want to trade the Elliot wave and how would they do that effectively. And I set out this group to be able to help people that want to really learn the Elliot wave and also master it and also add it to their trading life and also improve on it. Okay, so let's look at what we did over the last few days. Okay, so last few days we didn't want to go into some trades, okay, but I spoke about that. I would also be giving out information as to what we could be doing. All right, so we looked at EURUSD and EURUSD tagged TP1 and TP2 from the entry. Okay, so we did that, and that was also far back, and we had a lot of participants as well on those trades. So let's look at some few trades we took. This was GBPUSD, okay, and RA. Okay, so this is GBPUSD. This looks quite abnormal for WXY. Okay, it looks quite abnormal for WXY. So I wouldn't be looking at that as a WXY, all right, in the future. So I'll just go ahead and break down for you guys also what that could also mean in the future. All right, so let's look at also previously what we did. All right, previously what we did was we also look at some possible trades with EURUSCAD, and that was also nice. And I think that actually hit our profit. Okay, that hit our take profit. Let's see, that should hit our take profit. A lot of things went down. Let's see. Okay, so this was a trade and it did hit our take profit. Okay, so we spoke about a truncated wave here. All right, a truncated wave here, and it's also important that you learn all this stuff because whenever you have a truncated wave such as this one here, you can expect a fast retest with this one here. When it happened, I spoke about a fast retest, and that also happened nicely, and that was also the second test of this territory which I spoke about, right? And stop loss was just high of the areas that created the truncate. Okay, the truncate here, whenever you see such patterns, is always a very nice spot to look for entries. Okay, so that was very nice and huge, and for that took the trade could have been taking a 1:3 risk to reward trade, and it's always awesome to do so consistently. Okay, because that would also give you a good feeling. All right, so looking at this one as well, we're going to be looking at AUDUSD. All right, so this is our entry where we're looking at to take initially. Okay, so when we had price trading here was when I did this analysis, and here is the territory I'm looking to buy AUDCHF. Okay, and we could be looking at some sort of validation inside of this territory for the upside to continue. All right, so that's for AUDCHF, and if there happen to be no validation at this point here, we're just going to leave it. Okay, we just leave it to whatever is happening to continue downside. Okay, we want validation, and those validations can come in a way of an ending diagonal such as in this territory, or could also come in a sort of structure as this one, which we could also have a WXY, and at this point here we could be looking for some bullishness. These are all setups which we understand, and over some period I've been able to teach the students here in this group to master it. All right, so let's look at another one we did here. We looked at GBPNZD. and this is what we wanted to do right from time. and we just had to wait to do that, and everything played out nicely. Also with USDCAD, this was the analysis we did on USDCAD, and everything turned out nice. If we go over to our MT4, we could see that USDCAD also moved very nice into that target area. Okay, it moved very nice into that target area to complete the C wave. Okay, so we looked at this as completing the C wave, but what is the setup or the pattern in which we have completed the C leg? Okay, so we've completed the C leg in a rather odd manner. All right, I'll look at in a rather odd manner. One is we looked at this. I'm looking at this at the moment because this was what also gave us the entry for a short position here, because we're looking at an AB of the ABC, all right, for a B, for a C, for a flat to complete. All right, so many times you could also be working a very bad analysis, but you could also be taking a good trade from a bad analysis, and you can actually have periods which you can do everything extremely correct and your trade comes out bad. So definitely you could also be having a very bad analysis and you can actually be having a very good trade. Okay, so it's all a mix in there. Okay, so we'll look at what I think we did. Okay, so this was also the last, I think this was the last message I sent, and we're looking at a possibility that there could be also a roadmap to a WXY, and I'm going to also break it down for you guys that we could be looking at, you know, when you're looking at chart in a different angle, it gives you an idea because you're looking for a formation, you're looking for a pattern. Patterns are what will give you the money. All right, patterns are what will give you the money. But if you look at this chart here, there's a very great difference. Okay, if you look at this chart from this point here and looking at this from this angle here, okay, let me just put this on a H4, you would understand that if you have been following my work right here, that this doesn't fit better for that WXY. Okay, it doesn't fit better for that WXY, and whatever happening here could actually be very short. Okay, it could actually be very short and then continue to downside. But if what's happening here turns out to be something massive, I would just leave it, because it could also bounce second time right in this zone and then continue, and this could have been an ending diagonal of this move to the downside. Okay, so I'm going to leave it. I'm not going to take this as a WXY, which is also my favorite setup here. And you guys know what a WXY would look like. Okay, is going to be looking like this. You want to see the fractals coming out clean, and it's going to be 5. Okay, it's going to be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and then you can have the breakout so that it could also create an X, and then you can create a Y down here. All right, you don't want to be seeing this setup here for WXY. This is not a WXY. Okay, so I wanted to point this out to students that wanted to still continue to improve on their trading, and they could also point out what could be wrong with this analysis and then make some adjustment, or probably say, hello, this is wrong and it doesn't meet the criteria, and you know, going, this is not your teaching, you know. But everyone just stood still and then nobody said anything about it, and I just have to say it right now so you guys will not get it all mixed up in the trading year. Okay, so you don't get it all mixed up and looking to trade that short positions. Price could also bounce in this territory, reaccumulate of some sort, or find some base of some sort, and then maybe continue to upside. You don't want to do this to your trading. All right, it's gonna be, man. All right, so if price continues downward, all right, that's fine, that's cool. Breaking this structure, that's fine. Okay, it's not my kind of setup, so I'll just move on. I wouldn't be stuck into making some stupid analysis here. So we did get it to TP1, TP2, that's fine. I will just move on to the next trade. Okay, so let's start with a full market breakdown. Okay, we start with the major currencies and what we could be looking at in the year. A lot of things happened last year, 2021, and we also had it that central banks also tweaked their interest rate, and that also created a bit of movement in the market as well. There was a lot of change in the interest rate, and we could also see that that was also reflected on CAD. All right, we've also had the Bank of Canada coming to tweak their interest rate, and we have interest rate at 0.25%, and we also have the pound also tweak their interest rate, and we have it at 0.25%. We also have that King dollar is also at less than 0.25%. It's also a possibility that we could also be seeing further tweaks or further hikes also in the year. And we also have it that JPY and also Swiss francs are also at the lows of minus 0.75% for CHF, and also we have the JPY at minus 0.10%. All right, so that's really the lowest for all the interest rate, and we could also see that that is also affecting or having its toll or having its effect on USDJPY. So we can see that interest rate difference here, or shift in the interest rate also taking its effect here, and we can have it that this is really going up massively since we had that major shift. All right, so this one here we'll be looking at full breakdown and to what we want to be doing over the next few months. Okay, probably I'm going to be giving you the next few months analysis and also as well, and what we could be doing. All right, so CHF, go to CHF here, also looks quite different. Okay, so we're going to point out everything here and then break it down for you guys. Let's get into it. All right, guys, so we get into the main event. All right, so let's look at also from a monthly time frame what also happened and where we are right now in the market. All right, because that's going to give you an idea of from where you are. It's going to be giving you an idea of where you possibly will be moving to next. Okay, we did see that over this period here we've been in a downtrend. Okay, we've been in the downtrend over this period here, and there is really no two ways about it. If I would just take out this line here and just put this nicely, okay, so we've been in a downtrend. Okay, we've been in the downtrend, and I want to also point you in the right direction as well. Let me just go adjust this a little bit and point you in the direction. Okay, in the direction I'm going to point to you right now is, let's put this out from a monthly time frame. I don't want to sit on the monthly time frame, it makes this chart noisy. All right, so in the direction I'm going to point out to you right now, okay, is if you look at this one here, we were more of in a downtrend, right, back in this point here. All right, so this was support down here, and I think I really love this support, and I think I'll just put up a line on this support here to really mark it out for me, and I want to see it at 0.783. okay, so this was a very huge support down here for USDCHF, and price did bounce over the last maybe just 1-2 years, bounce 3 years could have been. Price bounce off, breaking out of that structure, hit a resistance here once, hit twice, that was in 2016, and we had price from that point on break this price movement to the upside. Okay, so this slide down once, reaccumulated at this point here for the next, which I was expecting that probably if price could also bounce in 3-wave dimension and then maybe create another leg to the upside, that could also mean that we might also be seeing more upsides in the market. Okay, so looking at this one here, we had one break retest, so we have a possible ABC right here. So what we're looking at here is a double top, and this is still C territory, and that's very nice. So what we have here is an ABC, which could also create an A for the next move to downside, or which could also create a wave 1 to 2, and this was also an ending diagonal here. So we started the move to the downside. Okay, so what we're looking for is, if you're looking at the downside, you can also be looking at possibly when price is going down, what Ellioticians would or should look for is expected to be either a 3-wave correction such as this one here, and at the break of this structure then we could look for price to continue downside. Okay, so that's one of the scenarios which an Elliotician could also look for, and an Elliotician could also be looking for a triangle, maybe something of a contraction. Okay, something of a contraction, and at a break you can also continue riding whatever happened there to the downside. Okay, so but if the difference between this structure right here and this structure right here is, if you're having a diagonal here or a triangle, this mostly will appear on the fourth wave or the B wave. Okay, so we have a possibility of where this would appear. Okay, so this would either appear on a B wave or on a fourth wave. Okay, so looking at this one here, we have lots of questions which needs to be answered when it comes to USDCHF, and that I'm here to answer them for you. Okay, so looking at this one here, we have what could have also been any structure in this format, maybe a 1, maybe a 2, maybe we're working at a wave 3, and definitely we might also be looking at more downside possibilities. And over the last or the third quarter of 2021, I was looking at the possibility that price could also make few rise into maybe touching this territory here after forming an A. Maybe could also be looking for a way to form maybe a C after this B down here. Okay, so we have it that price have really tweaked. Okay, let's just go in on a weekly time frame. Let's see what also happened over the last few weeks. Okay, so this was the last few weeks of the year 2021. And we had it that in this point here that we had price test first, what we could look at an ABC. Okay, price drop, which I was expecting a potential D to the downside, and that also came back into the zone of the 0.93600 area here and then rejected twice. Okay, so this was termed as a double top. Okay, so this was termed as a double top, and whatever is happening here did create some bit of structure that we would have. This was one of the structures which we looked seriously to trade and over at the channel. Okay, so we looked to trade this structure over at the channel and pointed out that when this candle presented itself, it was best to see the monthly close. So the monthly close did close below this territory here, and I would look at this as a possible reversal to the downside. This is price not able to back this move here. All right. And for you guys also that knows that I look at also at the end of a wave such as this one, we could also be having that price could also maybe be moving in this format here, could also create maybe an WXY or an ABC, maybe an ending structure, but not taking out these previous lows, and then you're gonna have price then continue maybe just to the upside. It's many things. It's what I've seen many times in the market, and it happens many times in the market. Okay, so it happens many times. But what I want to see now is I want to see validation of a structure. Okay, so possibly we might have been working on ABC here, but this looks very odd for a B. You can't be having a B accumulating like this one. Okay, you can't be having so many Bs, so many wicks for a B such as this one here in this kind of structure. Okay, this will not make the most sense to you guys, but over some period, if you follow my work, you are going to be learning a lot of stuff. Okay, so this compared to this, okay, so this one compared to this one here, it looks different. Okay, so if you look at it, it looks rather different, and I think whatever is happening here, the majority trend is going to be to downside. Okay, because what we think I'm looking at here, we have a wave 1, wave 2, which we worked initially, and we're looking at this as a possible wave 4, and I would say that this is a truncated wave 4 to wave 5. Okay, so this has felt in this territory here, so we're looking at more whatever pullback could happen here could also color further and send price back into the zone. So the next target for price, I want to see price back into targeting this point here, which was previous low back in August. Okay, so this August lows are what we're going to be looking at probably in the year. Okay, so we look at this August low. So we're going to be working out a roadmap into achieving that one right there, and the best entries, one of the best entries to look for price to bounce will be back in the zone. You can expect that there could be some sort of momentum maybe inside of this territory here based on previous structures, and then we can have price back into the zone. Once price hits this zone and give us a valid entry for a reversal pattern somewhere around here, then we could be looking at possibly shutting back into the downside. Okay, that is going to be one of the trades I'm going to be looking at taking. Also, we could look at possibility of shorting to the downside, and that could also give us a very nice 114 pips. That would also be possible for those that I want to also further go down a little bit. And let's just see what we can do with this one here. All right, so we can work out till a monthly time frame, a weekly time frame. I think for weekly time frame, we just go with weekly structures there. Okay, so you know that when I'm looking at weekly structures, I look at points where 2 weeks terminates. Okay, so this is where we have 2 weeks terminate. I'm just gonna put that right there, and I'm just gonna let's see what we'll do with this one here. So this is going to be the best target. From this point here back into this point is going to be 118 pips, but you can actually target 110 pips because of which broker you're using. Okay, spread could also be a very important factor, which you want to target 110 pips. Okay, so in the year we have an idea of when next to move for USDCHF, and it's not something really new now. Okay, so let's look at also USDJPY. Okay, so what we're doing is JPY. A lot of things could also still play out for USDJPY. Fine, it's cool, it's wonderful. We have different structures coming in playing different roles. Okay, but looking at it on a monthly time frame, let's go ahead. So this on a monthly time frame, I would also point out for you guys that this is a breakout. Okay, I pointed out this before, that this is a breakout, and the next target for price would be 118,200. Okay, because it was previous extreme. All right, 112,800 is where we're going to be working out for price to hit. Okay, so price could either move very fast to hit that zone one, or could also do a little bit of fake out. But a little bit of fake out, what we're looking at here, that we have a very valid structure for a flat pattern here. Okay, so whatever is happening here, I think there is more strength in the upside than in the downside. So whatever happens here, we're looking at maybe a drop back into here could also be a validation for some more bullish upsides for USDJPY to still continue moving upside. Okay, so 118,200 is where we're going to be looking for our very first targets. You want to target that point first. We could also be working a lot of things. Okay, so looking for that target first. Once we hit this target first, that's going to be the best time to start maybe just expecting some little bit of retracement to come. And if you're looking at retracement, and also in my work here, I point out the best areas to look for retracement after 5 wave is to start from the lows, then also targets the probably highs we're going to be hitting, and then you could target first 38.2, because when you're targeting 38.2, it's going to be where the very first swing of that huge impulse is going to end. I've done this many times over the years, and I know some people possibly would want to take a very huge wild target here, because also back here in 2018, this was also what I did. Okay, this is also what I did. This is the chart of USDCAD. And when I was working this 1 to 2, I worked out 5 wave move. I knew that something was wrong, and I was working out an A, B, C, D, E for a wave 3. And for my very first drop, I knew that I wanted to target the 38.2. So let's look at also what I did. I like to share with you my Elliot wave story, all right, because it's going to also help you also improve as a trader. Okay, so this is 38.2. Okay, let's just go look at that. So this is 38.2, and this followed this line right here. So you can see that in the very first drop from this extreme here, price hit this point here and then reversed for a B leg. Okay, so when you're looking at some structures, you wanna have target areas, statistical target areas. Okay, I point this out. I say this many times for students that you want to look at statistical target areas, not just random areas, because you're looking at it with your eyes and then you feel that the market is expected to respect that. Fine, it could. Okay, but you look at statistical areas gives you an advantage and gives you an edge, because you're going to be doing the same thing over and over again without having to mix your own human emotions into it. Right, that's why I point out many times to you that for scalping is for algos, it's for bots, it's for robots to do. It's not for us humans, because at all times, many of the times, our psychology, our human feelings or emotions are going to have to play a part in our trading decisions. Okay, let's look at also EURUSD. Okay, so EURUSD, what I spoke about with EURUSD, let's just go ahead to see what I did speak about with EURUSD. Alright, so EURUSD, this was last time I did make an analysis with EURUSD, and I pointed out that this was a huge accumulation here. You know, for this kind of setups here, I looked at whatever could break this previous structure for a sale, okay? And I knew that one, for price to break this structure here, which means there is no demand up here, all right, and it was going to be very difficult to do so. Okay, so but by my bias, I want to sell, okay, EURUSD, but not at this point here, not when we have price accumulating such as this one here. For this accumulation is going to bring up a markup so huge, maybe such as this one here, but one of the reversal structures for this sort of markup here would be a double top. Okay, so I'm going to be waiting for a double top for this markup here for reversal or some sort of maybe failed pattern, okay, such as that one there, and then we could be working out at ABC, another leg down there. Okay, so over the years I've been able to master my mind into what I should be expecting to see from the market and how I want to see them. Okay, what I want to see over the years. That has been really cool for me. All right, so whatever is happening here, it should continue this markup up to testing this zone here. Okay, so looking at this one, let me just go ahead share with you also a long-term analysis which I also pointed out before. And also for those of you that are not following this work right here, you just need to GW Pro. I recommend that you subscribe and also smash on the notification bell on this channel so you'll be getting all the informations whenever I post content such as this one here. Okay, so let's look at also a monthly analysis which I looked for, and I'm also looking at a possibility that price could also be contracting A, B, C, maybe C right here, then maybe D down there, or could be C down here. Price could also further continue down there, or could be D down here and then E up here before the next move, right? So it's all a possibility that price could actually do any of those analysis. Okay, it's all a possibility that price could also do any of those analysis there, and it could also be fun. Okay, but what I want to see, what I'm expecting, I expect that the drop to downside is yet to be complete. I have various reasons to look at this one here for a drop to downside not completing because of the angle of the set. Okay, so the angle of this formation here. I know possibly some traders would not really understand this, but what I do is until price meets a certain arrangement or a certain plan which I had originally for it, I will as well avoid it and then move to the next trade. Okay, I could be buying AUDUSD and then looking at buying more of AUDUSD, but I will not be selling EURUSD at the same time. I could look to avoid EURUSD, but over the period you would understand that AUDUSD would travel maybe 200 pips while EURUSD would travel maybe 60-50 pips. Okay, over that period we could have more of trending markets in AUDUSD, and we could also be having ranging more of sideways in EURUSD. Okay, so that could also be one of the difference that could also happen when you are looking at swing trades. Okay, so when you're looking at price moving in a direction, once price meets a certain criteria for a trade, I will take it. If it doesn't meet it, there is nothing wrong about that. There is nothing good about that. It's just what it is. All right, so looking at this one here, for the upside potentials here, it's also very huge, because one of the things we look at a W right here, X right here, Y down there, and we could also be working at a WXYXZ pattern. So I do not know if this Z leg is complete. Okay, so if this Z leg is complete, let's go point that out. If this Z leg is complete, that is what I do not know if it's complete. But one of the things we're going to look for in a completion of the Z leg will be when price breaks the Y leg. Okay, once price breaks the Y leg or the Y territory here, trading above this point here, then I could start drawing a trading plan that maybe the Z leg could have been complete with this leg to the downside here. And what we could also be working at, we could be working out that time, we could be working out an A, B, C. So what we will do here, we will be looking for price movement of equal weight. Price movement of equal weight, we could be looking at just maybe an ABC down. That's the very first criteria, that's the very first setup which I want to see for equal weight, ABC down. And I could also be having a little leg downside which could also accumulate at the end of it, then maybe create some sort of fake out. That's another price movement of equal weight. So those are things you look at and then start planning your trade. Okay, so these are what I look at, and at that point there I will start looking for bullish opportunities at breakout of certain key environments. Okay, so I will not be looking for taking trade decisions for this one here, and more downside could also come back into testing just maybe 111, maybe 200, 111 or 112. You know, it's all a possibility. Okay, so this territory here is still where we are expecting price to still hit before the next move to the upside here. I pointed out that this could also be a hit liquidity zone here, that price could also spear down to the zone looking for liquidity, and could also do any structural patterns here which could also fake out many times before the next move to the upside. So I don't know, but I think we want to see more valuation, more structures. More structures will be very awesome. Okay, so GBPUSD. Okay, GBPUSD did react around the 38.2 Fibonacci retracement, as I spoke about. Also, I've been speaking about in my previous videos. Okay, so 38.2 Fibonacci retracement of this swing low to swing high. So reacted. Okay, so price did react inside of that territory here, and I spoke about many times of the reaction. Okay, so price would always react inside of key environments here, and for you to understand this, Fibonacci retracement tools are just points which could show you possible areas where price would react around. Okay, so possible supports and also possible resistance could also be what we could also be looking at for indications. Okay, so key environments hit at 8.2, 61.8, Fibonacci retracement area 78.6, 50%. Could also be valid structures or valid areas which we would be looking at for a bounce. Okay, so this bounce here did come, and one of the things we could also look at is when will the bounce end. Okay, so when will the bounce end here? I pointed out first on my chart that I'm looking at the bounce to end inside of this territory here. So I'm going to share with you why that territory there. Why that territory there is, first, I would look at this as a B contraction. So if this is a B contraction, what we have here is a possible A, what we have here is a possible B, and then what we have here could be a possible C. So this could have been complete for this structure here, and we have a D, and possibly we might be having an E. That's the very first analysis which I want to point out to you guys. Okay, and another analysis I want to point out to you guys is, if this is complete and E structure, what we'll be looking at is we could also be working out an overall A leg, B A leg. So the next move we could be expecting would be a B leg. Okay, so those B legs are oftentimes respecting the 61.8 Fibonacci retracement territories there. So I'm just going to go double this and then point that out at this territory here. So the whole of this territory here up to the 78.6 is where price could also go into as price territory there. So I'm going to just go change this color right here to my liquidity column. I use this as my liquidity column majority of the times, and that has always helped me in guide. Okay, so this here is also the territories there. So you can be expecting that what we're working for this set of structures here, we're working out an ABC. Okay, so an ABC is what we're working out. So I expect the very first bounce to happen inside of this territory here. Okay, so this would be creating a fake out for a reversal for those that are looking for reversals, and then we could be looking for the next bounce inside of this territory back into the zone for the B leg to complete. Okay, so it's all a possibility, and we could also see some major adjustments over that period. All right, we'll see some major adjustments during that period, and it could also be very awesome. Okay, So looking at USDCAD. For USDCAD here, I spoke about USDCAD. Let me just go ahead and share one more time what we're doing with USDCAD. Okay. Until price fails to complete, structurally, I think this looks very nice. Okay, so for those of you that are following this work here, this is an A, and this is a B, or this is a C. So this is a flat pattern, a very big flat pattern that has completed, and at this point here we'll start looking for bullish opportunities. So bullish opportunities only is what's best for this kind of market structure. Okay, so we're looking for only bullish opportunities to the upside for price to continue moving up. Okay, so we're looking for bullish opportunities. So whatever is happening here, I did point out before that the USDCAD should bounce in this area. Okay, so this price in this area here is very cool. Okay, so possibly we could be having maybe a little bit of drop, okay, to induce sellers and then continue to the upside, and that's what I'm going to be looking at over the next few months. Okay, so if price continues dropping down, I will not be overly concerned with selling until we have a break below this point here. So this is a very huge support area here, and price could also moving into this territory here means that it's not the best time to continue selling in this territory here, but rather wait for the next bullish opportunities to also spring in, and then we continue buying that to the upside. Okay, we look at NZDUSD. Of all this analysis I just made today, this is one of those ones that's been crazy. Let's look at the reversal here for this one here, and comparing this to NZDUSD, you can see that this is rather odd. One of the things that could also cause one of those things, one of those kind of setups here, because I've seen this over the years. Okay, I've seen this over the years, and I've also learned over the years that possibly NZD wasn't really designed to move up from this point here. Okay, NZD wasn't really designed to move up from this point here, because one of the things that was not complete here was this structure here. So we have an A, B, C, A, D, and then E wasn't complete. So what it's looking for is the next possible weakness right here, then to complete the E. Then possibly that's when buyers will start looking for opportunities. So possible downside still in there to complete for NZDUSD. Okay, so look at what we have here as an Elliot setup. Okay, so we have a possible structure. Let's look at what possible structures we have here. We have what could have been a breakout. All right, that's very nice for a breakout. It's very nice. It's a bullish flat, and this could also indicate more bullish opportunities to still continue upside. Okay, and this could also be an A. All right, note guys, could also be an A. So possibly once price back into hit this point here, what we'll be waiting for is going to be a fake out here. So supply here is going to what we're waiting for, and once price starts doing that, we're going to look for sell opportunities somewhere around here, then sell to the downside. Right, because this could also be a flat pattern, and possibly when I'm looking for a flat, I don't expect flats to rebound and rebound and rebound. Once price rebounds for a flat such as this one here, it means that there is no bullish momentum to continue this setup here to complete. Then I'll look for selling opportunities, right, to continue. So AUDUSD, there is also a great possibility that price could also be back into testing the extremes of C leg, which was created here around the 0.7574 territory. Over this time, it could also be possible, so I would not be in a very much hurry to do this. But what I pointed out to you guys back in the channel is what I've always done over and over again. Okay. Alright, so this is AUDUSD. Okay, so this was what I pointed out to you guys, and this was a flat pattern. Alright, so we worked this before we got this. It was also in the previous post, so I'm not going to go over scrolling looking for it. It's going to be very hectic for me. So we looked at this and we're still working out a possibility for that completing. So first, this is going to be my very first target for a C zone. I'm going to look at this for a C zone. All right, so if price bounce off this territory as a C zone and then fake out, rebouncing in this point here, and then creating some sort of structure there, we could also see price back into the stop here. It's all a possibility and one we could also wait to see. But overall, we are bearish on this one. And once price starts reacting around maybe a trend line or a structural areas there, it's best to start looking for sell opportunities. Okay, no two ways about that. All right, let's look at King Gold. Okay, so King Gold, I will not be making a length analysis with this one for King Gold. I'll look at that whatever is happening for King Gold is really not complete. Okay, so until this completes, there is no taking any trades as always, and there is no recommendation for gold. I don't recommend anything for gold until price completes the pattern which I'm expecting back at this territory here, maybe just this territory or somewhere lower than this one. Until then, either price will break to the upside one more time, then I would be looking for bullish opportunities. But anything for gold inside of this territory here, it's a no-go area for me. I don't recommend anything. I don't want to trade gold right there, you know. So let's look at one of this is one of our favorite trades for the year. I'm going to be looking at this as one of my super trades because this is one that is going to be giving me very full maximum profit in the very first 2-3 months or 2 months, 1 month, okay, of 2022, and this is going to be my very first trade. Okay, so this is complete. First, I started by pointing out to you, apart from the fact that we're in an uptrend, okay, apart from the fact that we are in an uptrend, and also a test after completing what could have also been a possible A, B, maybe a C, okay, 1. It could also be a possibility of a start of a new wave, 1, 2, maybe a start of a new wave to the upside. It's also a possibility. I do not know any of those is valid, okay, but what I do know is on a lower time frame, I have been able to identify a pattern that is tradable, a pattern that I can risk my money and then walk away. I identify a 5-wave move down, 2, 3, A, B, C, 5. So this is 4, 5. I see a possible pullback, which created this pullback should have been a start of a new wave upside. All right, that's very cool. But for price to bounce in here, I took this as a A wave, B wave. So what is possibly moving down here is a C wave. And for you guys know that a structural setup such as AB equals to CD, after that completes, what you wait for is to take a Fibonacci from a swing high to the swing low and then target the 61.8 Fibonacci retracement of that swing for the very first target. You wouldn't look at that as a complete reversal or as any structure. Okay, so what the very first trade you can take is to look for a complete move from that swing high to swing low, taking the fib, then targeting the 61.8 Fibonacci retracement of that structure here. That is what AB equals to CD structures are based for. So once price hit this zone, this is what I've been able to do over this period here. I've been able to look at this, measuring the height. All right, this is the height of this and this, and I'll use this one to measure the height here. So I have a possible target area here. I'm gonna just have to increase this a little bit. I have a possible target area. So once price, as you can see, the price is starting to complete, because once you find a triangle, this is either in a B wave or a 4 wave. So this is a B wave. So we have AB. We have, once you have triangle here, it could also happen in a 4 wave, or it shows you possible signs of the end of the trend. All right, so I'm looking at possibly price could also continue downside, maybe inside of this territory, whenever I have valid momentum, valid structures. Okay, valid structures, I will look to buy on signs of valid structures. So let's look at what we could do. All right, let's look at what we could do. Okay, so this could also further continue downside, and once price hit this, possibly that would be the best time to look for a 1:3 risk to reward trade. So we're looking for price hitting this zone at 125. Divide that by 3. We're going to be working out a 50-50, going to be 40-40. So we're going to be looking at 40 anyway down there. All right, 40 anyway down there. Okay, let's see. Okay, 1969. All right, let me just go put that 1969 for you guys. I want you guys to really bag those profit this year alongside as I'll be doing so this year. Okay, 1969. All right, you don't want to be left out. Okay, so 1:3. 1:3. All right, so 1:3. Our risk is going to be down here. So if you're looking at risking down there and you're looking at targeting down up here, so that's what I'm going to be doing, and that's going to be my very first trade. Okay, it's very nice, it's very unique. There's no truth about this. This is what I've done over the years. Okay, we are in a bullish setting, so we'll look at a bullish setting. Whatever could happen first, bulls will be present after this completion. Here, will be present here. It could also present back into testing 38.2 first, and also this one here. So what I'm going to be doing, I'm going to be taking 2 positions here to target first 38.2. As you guys know, I'm a conservative trader, and I like to back my profit first and put them in my account and then see that I'm actually making money first. So 38.2 is what I want to target first, and then I'll hop off on the very first TP there, and also 61.8 my second TP. All right, so no two ways about that. We'll just set up a trade. All right, let's move into USDZAR. Okay, so USDZAR, we're still working out C leg to complete. Okay, so I looked at this USDZAR, and I pointed out to you guys that once we are out of this zone here, this is an overextended B. We don't look at this as a flat, so we're looking at this as possibly any retracement that could also further come. Just slightly retracement could also be the best time to continue looking for bullish opportunities. All right. Two words about that. All right, so I'll look for bullish opportunities right on a validation of a structure. Once price continues going down, I will not take any trade because this could also be an ABC. It's all the possibility. Anything could happen. Is trading for what it is. Okay, trading for what it is. All right, so see you on the next video when I'm going to be doing a full breakdown of other currency pairs. Let's look at other currency pairs we could also be looking at. We could also be looking at some sentiment pairs which happen to be the CHF JPY. A lot of sentiment pairs which I look at here, and I call them sentiment pairs because they're not major pairs. Okay, so we look at CHF JPY, CAD JPY, CAD CHF, and a lot of things we could also look for this one here, and it could also be a very unique one over the next trading week. Okay, so AUDCAD is what we spoke about, and one of my favorite trade setup that is going to come in the year. It's going to be AUDNZD. So AUDNZD is one of the favorite trades we're looking at for the year, and also AUDCAD, NZDCAD. Wow, that completed that pattern such in a hurry. All right, so we look at a couple of patterns here, and this one here did complete. This should have been a completion pattern, so it dropped one more time here. It's fake out. Wow. Anyways, a retest is still possible here, back into the structure, stop loss up there, and then continue back to the downside where we want to be. Where we want to be is what we want to be doing always. We never change our trading plan, and also it always remains valid over the period. Okay, I've been changing my trading plans on Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday. I don't do that. All right, so possibly what we have here is a completion of, and we could also be seeing that the next candle could also be bearish. Okay, it's also a possibility. Next candle can also start coming bearish from this one here. I've seen this major times in the market, how a very strong impulsive candle could also end the week, and the next week comes in and we have a bearish candle. A lot of things will also happen. We could also move on to seeing GBP on the next video pace, which we want to be looking at taking some trade opportunities as well. And okay, we looked at this, we looked at EURUSD. A pullback could also continue for the downside, and this one we already know this in the group, and what we're looking for is a pullback, a little bit of pullback here after this could have completed the structure that would have sent price upside. For price to fail one more time here, this means that there is more selling pressure than buying pressure, right? So we want to be seeing price back into the zone. We know this already. Structurally, you can always look at this one and then make meaning of it. All right, that's why I teach you guys the Elliot wave. It's very simple to do this. Okay, so for this kind of structure here, looking at GBPUSD, what I'm going to be expecting from this one is I'm going to be expecting a fake out. I've seen this major times in the market, and this is going to look at. So I'm going to be looking at this one. Once price drops in this zone, it's not the best time to buy. Price is going to fake out and then continue upside. Possibly around this territory here, you want to be seeing the next fake out. If the next fake out happens here, that's going to be validation. And you can look for selling opportunities back into the zone. Structures like this should be okay with structures like this. They should be okay. They should be able to look at market and then make a trade decision, a trading plan. All right, so looking at EURUSD, we did complete that pattern there, so it's not a new thing. We've completed one wave, so we're out, and we want to be seeing what could also happen if price would continue downside or price could also reverse, as we initially spoke about. We want to be seeing. So we don't know. So we've completed our It's about looking for trades, looking for potential opportunities. You're not trading for an award. You're not trading for a medal. You look for what will make you money at any point in time, and you execute it diligently and you move on to the next one. All right, so GBPUSD is what we're looking for. We're looking for a complete reversal to the downside here. At most, we're going to be targeting first the extreme of the B leg, which did complete 3 A, B, C, and we look to target this very point first. That's our very first target. Okay, so no two ways about that, and we want to be seeing some pullback and then continue down into the zone here. There's no two ways about that. We know that already. We've worked that already over the last few months, and whatever's happening here, it's not really our concern. So we want to be seeing more selling opportunity, just maybe down to downside to complete maybe a pattern I really explained to you. So you can go over to the channel and then check that out. Okay, so GBPUSD, man, this looks really crazy. So I will not be giving out any thing with this one here. It's just what it is. So possibly we leave it to what it is until pattern completes, no new developments come in, and then we could also expect to take some trade decision. Overall, we can see that we are bearish. Some sort of accumulation here could also prove stubborn. So best you leave it. All right, best you leave it. Okay, so USDJPY, we did capture 500 pips from that one there, and remember what I spoke about was the very first target which you look for in a setup like this one here, ABC. You look for extreme first. So if price completes that 1,000 pips which we spoke about, and then that will be very nice. Okay, so let's look at it from that point there. We looked at 800 first. Okay, so all right, so that's very nice. So we look at the next one, EURUSD. We didn't do any analysis on EURUSD because it was not really what we wanted to do. You know that a flat pattern, so this should have been, or probably if you're looking at a corrective wave, this should have been a B, and we can expect that this should have further continued maybe downside before down breaking to the upside of maybe an ABC zigzag, whatever structure. Okay, so we're not looking at this here. It doesn't meet our criteria overall. Remember, guys, the extreme, we've seen our extreme. Okay, so we've seen our extreme. As always, let me just go back. We've seen our extreme. So what we want to be doing is test back this support here. We've seen our extreme. So what we want to be doing is testing back this support here for a balance. I've seen market structures like this. We want to see a balance. Maybe somewhere around here is only time I will look for breakouts. So we want to be seeing a balance. Okay. So we're looking for whatever price goes up. When price completes upside, we wait for some sell opportunities because that's the majority of the direction of the trend. All right. So we look at EURUSDCHF. EURUSDCHF is not, or how would I put it? I would say it's untradable at the moment because we are in territories. Well, we could also be our way marking 1.03. 1.03. Well, it's a very small target to take. The very small target to take, and you want to do that. All right. So GBPUSD. We're still looking at more upside opportunities coming for GBPUSD, and it could also further continue to the upside after breaking out this structure here So this is a breakout, and we could also expect that further prices could also continue for GBPUSD to the upside. So it's all a possibility. We look at stock. I'm gonna be sharing with you full breakdown in the future as well. So we've seen many times price change. Okay, so FTSE we're still bullish. So it's a breakout from that point, still bullish. All right, so whatever is happening here, I'm gonna do a full breakdown of all these ones in the next video. Okay, so I'm gonna just have to end this one, and then I'll share with you another video. So stay tuned, subscribe, like, and follow us on our Telegram group as well. And you can also follow us on Twitter. We have Twitter handler digital GW1. All right, so digital GW1 we want to be following on Twitter. So Twitter, you can also follow digital GW1 and Twitter, and you can have all the information whenever I post content, and that's gonna be great for you. I wish you all the best in your trading journey. 2022 is a success year, and also remember that there is no, I would repeat this, that there is no trade that is gonna be your breakthrough trade. Every trade is going to be what it is. You're going to have to take trades with the right amount of psychological backing, psychological stamina. Take those trades and then leave it for what it. The best thing I recommend, that the best thing that any trader can do for his trades is to leave it alone. Staring at the market will not change the market's original intentions. Rather, it will only take away your peace to do whatever you would have done. Maybe on your daily life, you're going to be sitting down on your screen and hoping. Don't bring in hope into trading. It would work, okay? What you do is look at possibilities and also look at probabilities. What could happen? What is happening? And then you watch out when you can take an advantage of what is happening to your advantage. Take trades that gives you statistical edge. That's going to change your trading as well. And I wish you all the best in your trading journey. May your pips be above average, and also may you last long in this business. See you next time. I love you. Subscribe, share, and also like. That's the best thank you, and to also help in the creation of more videos such as this one. See you next time.